All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. And I also want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I also want to say peace and blessings to those who elect, hearing this word in truth and in sincerity. Okay, I'm the brother Iowa Lum from the GMS West Palm Beach Camp, back with another lesson. And I just want to do a quick lesson concerning, the leaders that Edom sets up, for our people to follow, and this is one of his ways of attacking the nation, man, attacking Israel, because when you look at it, everybody that Esau push on the media, they're always pushing some kind of degenerate behavior, but they make it look cool. People like Sexy Red. Brother just shared something with how Sexy Red is a CIA informant, and, I could believe that because the shit that she's doing, is to pretty much, influence the younger generation, right? The younger girls are to be harlots, to be out of order, and this is a tactic used by the enemy. It's nothing for Esau to pay, a nigga to sell out, and they're gonna go for it, right? But this is Psalms 64 and verse 2, and it says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity." And these elite are the Edomites. They come together, in these little councils, and pretty much put their wicked imaginations together on how they're gonna destroy us further. They do shit like this, okay? It's not far-fetched for them to do something like this, because at the end of the day, they want Jacob to be destroyed. Matter of fact, let's go to the book of Amos. Amos chapter 1 and verse 11, and it says, "Thus saith the Lord, for three transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually." Okay, and he kept his wrath forever. And that's going back to when Jacob received the blessing from Isaac, and Esau said in his heart, "The day of mourning my father is at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob." All right, and to this day, these people hold that same wrath. All right, and part of that wrath is pretty much, trying to destroy us, either through music or through television, like movies, or food, or water, or clothing. I saw something the other day about Crocs are having toxins in it. All right, and those toxins go through our feet, all right, into our bloodstream, man. All right, so this man, he's pretty much weaponized everything against us, man. And then that's why we need Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because, hey, like the scripture says in the book of Isaiah, and I'm gonna go back to Psalm 64. Just precepts coming to mind that I want to bring out while it's still hot. Salaki for the stuttering. Jake is a little tired, so excuse me if I stutter a little bit in this lesson. Okay. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, the 5th chapter. No, the 1st chapter, Salaki. And it says, verse 9, "Except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah." You see? And it's talking about if the Lord didn't leave, a remnant, an elect, a small number among Israel, we would have been completely destroyed, because, Sodom and Gomorrah and the other neighboring cities, they were completely wiped out with fire. All right, and their memorial unto this day is, all right, the fire falling upon them from the Lord because of their wickedness. Okay, the same way America, Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed pursuant to the book of Revelation, and also the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter and the 34th chapter. You see? So, going back to Isaiah 64, and it says, verse 2, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Right? Because they could use their laws, all right, to come against us. Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. All right, once again, they're shooting at, Jacob. They're shooting at Jacob through these celebrities also, man. All right, because these celebrities, they're a form of influencers to the younger generation, to our people in general. And that's why people like, let's say LeBron James, or people like who else is a celebrity out here? Sexy Red, who the original lesson was about anyway. All right, these people are able to get on a platform and talk. All right, they're gonna get a following. And like it says in the book of Sirach, it says, when a rich man speaketh, everyone hold their tongue. But when a poor man speaketh, they say, what fellow is this? Okay? Because our people are simple. And that's why our Lord likened our people unto sheep. Sheep are very simple creatures that need guidance. All right, and our true shepherd is Yahushua. All right, and underneath Yahushua, he set up shepherds. All right, they guide the sheep. All right, but they don't want to listen to these shepherds. They want to listen to, all right, the Judas goats. Okay? It says in verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Right, they accomplish a diligent search. All right, Esau, Edom, he's done research. And I'm bringing this point out, this precept out, to make the point of how Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, all right, has studied our people to a T. And things like movies like They Clone Tyrone. All right, it shows you that Esau, Edom, he studies us, man. Okay, he knows what foods to put in the neighborhood, where to put the liquor stores. He knows how to get Jake to turn against each other. He knows how to get our people to march out of nowhere, man. So he studied our people to the point where he knows how to make them tick. But the elect, all right, is not bound to his witchcraft anymore. We can get it in the book of Isaiah, because his witchcraft is what he's using against Jake. In these movies, these TV shows and movies that we watch, hey, this is how Jake lived their life. Like the saying goes, art imitates life. All right, like shows. You got shows like Power, for example. Jake will see something off of that show. All right, they'll live it in real life. But you'll never see a black character, so-called black character, all right, in good light. It's always going to be a black character in, a gangbanger position, all right, or a poor or junkie position. Esau, Edom, it's not going to give Jake one of those positions unless, they sell out. Okay? Lucky. I'm gonna go ahead and jump to verse 9. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thy enchantments. Right? Because here in America, all this shit is ran by enchantments. Okay? It's all ran by enchantments. And the things that we're seeing on the news, the things that we're seeing in real life, may not even be real. And that's how deep Esau, Edom's enchantments go. But more so like the movies and shit like that, more than likely it's not real. The shit you see on the internet, okay, artificial intelligence, that's an enchantment, because now, you can type in a prompt and it'll give you a video, and that video look damn near realistic. That video does look like it was recorded on a phone. All right, but it's totally AI. You see? These are enchantments. Okay? So, let's keep moving. In the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Because, contrary to what our people believe, we have enemies. And Jake gonna learn the hard way, man. right? So-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, you're going to learn the hard way that the so-called white man doesn't like you. Now, not every so-called white person is an Edomite, all right? You have Israelites scattered among them, and we got to always make this point because you got Jake out there teaching that this is only a black thing, all right? Or you got Esau, Edom out there that's trying to criminalize us for teaching that our people are so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, all right? But what Esau mainly do is, all right, he try to paint this as, it's a black and white thing, which is really not. It's an Israelite thing. All right, we're coming out telling our people that they're the chosen. We are the Israelites. Okay? So this is Psalms chapter 83 and verse, I'll start at 1. It says, "Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O power. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head." You see? The enemies. "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones." You see? They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." Okay? And this is in Esau's heart. All right? And his heart is to pretty much destroy Jacob. Have us, completely annihilated. And they tried, but Yahweh Shem Yahushai is the reason why we're still here. Verse 5, "For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee." Okay, the tabernacles of Edom. All right, Edom is the first person on this list. Edom is the so-called white people. Okay, and they're the first ones on this list. All right, as the enemies of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the Israelites. Okay, so that's pretty much the point, man. I just want to go through this lesson because a lot of these celebrities that you see out there, all right, they're informants. All right, they're set up by Esau. And you see like people like Sexy Red up there, bouncing her ass or doing some vile shit. It's because her handler probably told her to do so. All right, Esau told her to do so once again, so that she can influence the younger generation to be harlots. Okay, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakakodash, and double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the full elect, hearing this word in truth and in sincerity. Till next time, I say shalom.